Ladies and gentlemen,
Awesome.
the meeting of the Board of Regents of Texas Tech University System is now called to order. The board will continue in open session and meet as a committee of the whole and meeting of the board. Chancellor Mitchell, President Hawkins, President Skovenick, President Lang, and President Rice Spearman, will you please present your introductions and any recognitions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to take a moment and recognize some of the folks at our system administration who've been leading teams and efforts within our own values culture established for the system administration. And just as a reminder, do we have a slide, Daly? Oh, I've got the clicker, okay. Just as a reminder about the values-based culture and how that developed, our system administration team embarked on this journey together to identify and establish a set of shared values that team members commonly work amongst each other with. We came together at a Values Summit in November of 2019. This was just 4 months before COVID hit the state of Texas. So we were fortunate enough at that time to get everybody together. The retreat provided our system administration with a set of guiding principles that members are able to hold themselves to, as well as others accountable to on a day-to-day basis. You can see the slide that's on the screen. As a result of the teamwork and collaboration, the system administration identified the following as its 5 shared values: people first, integrity, community, respect, and exemplary service. As you might remember, Ms. Kim Turner made a presentation to the board last October detailing our process and all of the work that's gone into developing these values and now implementing our values culture through various initiatives with our teams. So I'd like to highlight those teams and team members today. Our values culture encompasses 4 different teams to help integrate and advance this important initiative. The committees include a rewards and recognitions team, the Love Our Work team, the engagement team, and the communications team. Each of these groups has a team leader and additional values ambassadors from our system administration as well. They work together on ways for all of our system administration employees within our offices and departments to collectively live our shared values. The work of these individuals, along with Kim Turner and Steve Sosslin and many others, has been critically important to this initiative and leads the way for the progression of our values culture. I want to recognize and say thank you to each of these team leaders. So please, when I call your name, stand up to be recognized. Here with us today, first we have Christy Felton. Christy is our rewards and recognition team leader. There she is. Christy is our executive associate to the vice chancellor in facilities and construction. She served 11 years within the Texas Tech University system. We have Shell Hillis. Where are you, Shell?
Behind you, sir.
Oh, there you are. You're hiding behind Eric. Shell Hillis is the team leader for the Love Our Work team. Shell is our Assistant Chief Financial Officer in the CFO office. She has 10 years of service in the Texas Tech University system. Brady Crook, our engagement team leader. Brady is our Senior Associate Vice Chancellor for Central Advancement and Institutional Advancement. He joined us in 2019 and is approaching his 2-year mark serving our system. And finally is Jenna Hightower. Where's Jenna? There she is. Jenna is our communications team leader. Jenna is our executive associate in the Office of Audit Services. She has 4 years of service in our system administration. I'd like to give all of these folks a round of applause for the hard work they do, as well as their commitment to our values-based culture. Thank you guys very, very much. One more special announcement. Where's Billy Breedlove? Stand up, Billy. Today is Billy Breedlove's birthday, February 26th. Yeah, and so Daley Fuller put on here, his birthday present was not having any facilities committee items. This is Billy's, let's see, the 29th anniversary of his 39th birthday. All right, that concludes my introduction, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chancellor. Any other?
Next.
I don't have it. You don't have it. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have 2 introductions this morning and then a video to share with you. First,
I'd like to introduce Sierra Mello Miles. Sierra is the new director of the Military and Veterans Program. She's a U.S. Army veteran and served in Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 and 2004. She worked as a veteran service representative in the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs in Milwaukee for 3 years before joining our MVB program here at Texas Tech. We're very proud of our MVB program. It has a great legacy and tradition. We have more than 3,200 students who are either military veterans or family dependents. We've been a military veterans, recognized as a military-friendly campus for 8 consecutive years, and we were the first university in the state of Texas to be declared a Purple Heart University. And we are very fortunate to have someone like Sierra Mello Miles to continue the leadership of our MVP program. Welcome, Sierra. Next, I'd like to recognize Noelle Sloan. Noelle Sloan has served as the Vice President of Administration and Finance and our Chief Financial Officer, but has now been promoted to the position of Senior Vice President in those roles. She joined Texas Tech in 2006, and I just texted her and I said, now, Noelle, I know you have a law degree from Baylor. Wasn't your accounting degree from Tech? No, both degrees are from Baylor.
And you still promoted her.
I really know my people. She oversees the Finance Division, Business Services Division, Auxiliary Services, Operations, and in recent months, she's taken on the new responsibilities of overseeing the Police Department and Emergency Management Services. You might wonder, what does Skuvenik do? But she's also very involved on a number of boards. She's been instrumental in our current strategic planning for land utilization. But her leadership has really been essential as we've dealt with the more than $90 million impact of COVID.
Yes.
We've been able to retain all of our personnel, faculty and staff, didn't have to resort to furloughs or salary reductions, continue to teach the load that was so necessary to handle the increased enrollment. And she's always, like all CFOs, are very cautious. But she's taken on a really bold and, I won't say reckless, but a very innovative approach to dealing with this. And we're so fortunate to have one of her competence and leadership at Texas Tech.
I agree.
And finally, I'd like to share with you a video we've put together. You may recall that last fall we had a ribbon cutting for the dairy barn. That dairy barn is a historic building on campus that's been empty for 50 years. Weeks Hall is also a historic facility that's been vacant for about 30 years. And so in lieu of a ribbon cutting, we wanted to share this video with you today about Weeks Hall. Welcome to the newly renovated Weeks Hall, located on some of the most valuable real estate on our campus at Broadway and University Avenue. Constructed in 1957 as a women's dormitory and named after Margaret Weeks, who was the dean of the School of Home Economics from 1925 to 1950, this building has sat vacant for more than 30 years. With limited space available for construction in the heart of our campus, this renovation project became vital to address a critical shortage of office space for faculty, staff, and student services. With funds allocated through the Higher Education Fund and approved by the Board of Regents, this facility officially opened in the fall of 2020.
Weeks Hall is a 67,234 square foot facility that is listed on the Texas Historical Register, and through the use of HEAF funding, we were able to fund $24,500,000 for this renovation project. The project has provided the university with valuable office space for faculty and staff, while also providing workspaces for students. Its communal and open concept was designed to enhance collaboration and open communications. Weeks Hall will also be home to various student services, such as Student Disability Services, the Technique Center, the Graduate Center, and our ROTC programs.
The project scope for Weeks Hall included tying the utilities back to the central heating and cooling plant, which allowed us to use the more cost-saving and efficient chilled beam system to heat and cool the building. Construction also included life safety enhancements, lighting, technology, interior finishes, and ADA modifications. On the exterior of the building, we are able to increase the ADA surface parking and update landscape enhancements with outdoor gathering spaces and a service dog relief area. The public art piece for this project is located along University Avenue and is a feature created by Elon Averbach and is named As Far as the Eyes Can See. Construction on this project began in September 2018 and was completed in fall 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Dr. Skovenick. Dr. Rice Spearman, do you
I have no introductions
have
this
another?
morning.
And did I read you, Ronnie?
We have no introduction.
You have no other ones either. Thank you all for that. The board will continue in open session and meet as the committee of the whole and the meeting of the board. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on December 10th, 2020?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. We will now consider items as a committee of the whole, and I would like to ask the vice chairman to preside over the committee of the whole. Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The item for consideration is the consent agenda, items A through R, as listed on pages 1 through 27 of the agenda book, and the information agenda as listed on pages 28 through 31. Is there any discussion of the items in either the consent or the information agenda? Let me just remind the board also that if there is an item that you would like to discuss in further detail or vote on separately from the consent agenda, you may request the item be moved to the committee of the whole agenda. Hearing no discussion, then, Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve the consent agenda and acknowledge its review of the information agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Mr. Griffin?
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the items to be considered by the committee of the whole at this time.
Thank you, Regent Griffin. The board will continue meeting in the open session to consider the reports of the standing committees. Regent Steinmetz, will you present the items considered for action by the Academic, Clinical, and Student Affairs Committee?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Academic, Clinical, and Student Affairs Committee met in open session on Thursday, February 25th, 2021, to consider items 1 through 14 as presented on pages ACS 1 through ACS 34 of the agenda book. I request the items be considered and approved as a group.
Is there a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the report of the Academic, Clinical, and Student Affairs Committee.
Regent Hammonds, will you present the items considered for action by the Audit Committee?
Mr. Chairman, the Audit Committee of the Board met in open session on Thursday, February 25th, 2021, and considered Item 1 is presented on pages A1 through A2 of the agenda book. I request the following report be considered and approved. Item 1, TTUS Report on Audits. Mr. Chairman, the Audit Committee also convened into executive session, which time the following no action items were considered and approved. Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends approval of the item as presented, and I so move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Regent Walker, please present the items considered for action by the Finance, Administration, and Investments Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance, Administration, and Investments Committee of the Board met in open session on Thursday, February 25th, 2021, to consider items 1 through 3 is presented on pages FAI 1 through FAI 4 of the agenda book. I request that all items be considered and approved as a group. Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends approval of the items as presented, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. We will continue meeting as the Committee of the Whole and meeting of the Board. Kano, please present the schedule of upcoming board meetings.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The next scheduled board meeting is for May 13th through 14th, 2021, followed by the August 5th through 6th board meeting. The date for the October 2021 board meeting is still being finalized and should be ready by the next board meeting, and that will be communicated to the members of the board. And then finally, the December board meeting, December 9th through 10th, 2021.
Next, we'll hear from our student government presidents. Kristen Kilpatrick, would you like to present the SGA report for Angelo State University?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kristen Kilpatrick, and I am serving as the student body president for the 92nd session of Student Government Association at Angelo State University. I know this has been a really hectic year, especially the past 2 weeks in San Angelo, but we have some really exciting plans moving forward for the rest of the semester. So as a brief overview, I'm just going to go over the State of Student Government Association as it stands in progress and the initiatives that we originally talked about in October at the previous Board of Regents meeting. So to begin with the State of Student Government Association, we've had 8 pieces of legislation filed for the 92nd session. Some of these bills including a bill to advocate support for expanding library hours during COVID precautions for students, and a bill to support students' right to opt to use synchronous delivery through distance education for this semester, both being passed through our Student Senate and being sent to the administration and library in the respective places. Moving forward, beginning the filing and election process for the 93rd session, we actually created an honors seat for the honors program so that there's more representation within our Student Senate. And moving down my list, we have created and distributed over 200 care packages for our nursing program students, faculty, and staff. Some of the things that were included in this care package were RAM stress balls donated by Counseling Services, and stickers, and some other ASU gear donated from our admissions department, along with water bottles, individually packaged snacks, and emergency packets. Just to say thank you for all that they're doing. The healthcare field is definitely going through something right now with COVID, so just wanted to show appreciation for our students that are jumping in headfirst and going through that training. Next, one of our COVID-friendly SGA initiatives has been the Student Discount Program. This was founded in 2009, and we have over 130 businesses in San Angelo listed on the Student Government Association webpage right now. We're always looking for more businesses to add to this program, so our Public Relations Committee is working diligently to add more programs that will benefit our students in the city of San Angelo. Moving on, so the RAM Family Student Scholarship is a scholarship for the students, by the students. It is an endowed $500 scholarship that we present at the Rammies, where we acknowledge students for their leadership on campus and hard work throughout their collegiate career. SGA has a committee that will choose who wins this award, the scholarship, and we get to fundraise to create more funds. So we sold Student Government Association t-shirts and raised over an additional $120 to add to the $500 for the student that receives it for this academic year, which brings me to my next slide. So this is the shirt that was created, and then I just wanted to add in some pictures because it was so pretty whenever we had a bunch of snow over the past week. So moving forward, some progress in our initiatives that we mentioned, and then some additional ones. So Rams Against Drunk Driving, our first meeting of the semester is happening next week because it got pushed back, but we were just talking about bringing meaningful programs to our campus to combat drunk driving and promote safe driving habits, and making sure students have a plan on how to get home before they go out and have fun. And then we are also working with rideshare companies like Lyft and TapRide for a university partnership in the future, so students can have the opportunity to participate in rideshare programs. Moving on for dialogue about mental health, we recently had a suicide prevention training for senators. That was our first meeting back for this semester. That's what we did. And we are looking to pass legislation forward that requires the president and vice president of Student Government Association to host a mental health training at least once a session for senators. Our goal in Student Government Association is to make sure every student on campus is well equipped to give the necessary resources to someone in a mental health crisis at any given moment. And this begins with our senators and campus leaders, so that's something that we are prioritizing. Moving forward with accurate representation, so we have bolstered our numbers a lot in Student Government Association over the past semester. So we just want to be able to retain those senators and make sure that we are getting a lot of people up for election for the 93rd session. And our newest idea for this semester has been the exploratory program. So this is a program for undeclared students at Angelo State. So this is going to be a collaborative effort with our Career Development Center in our freshman college, where we work with undeclared students to make sure that they're connected in with the university and in with each other so that they can find what they want to do and stick with it as much as possible to end up graduating within their 4 years. So we're going to have panels with faculty, current students, alumni, and staff for the different colleges offered at Angelo State University so that they can get a wide range of ideas for the type of majors that they are looking into so that they can see career fields that they could go into and see if their skill sets or interests fit with things that are going on within that department. We also want to connect them with other majors or other undeclared majors so that they can build a community, because freshman year you end up spending a lot of time with people within your own major, and so that can be kind of alienating if you go into new student orientation and you don't have a grouper that you are automatically connecting with because you're not 100% sure that what you want to major in yet. So we want to connect them with other undeclared students to make sure that they have a sense of community. And we also want to start peer advising with Student Government Association. So we are working with the Career Development Center in the Freshman College to provide training for our Student Services Committee senators to make sure that they are well equipped to be able to mentor people in the peer sense, and then make sure that they can not only recruit them for Student Government Association in the future whenever they figure out what they want to do at the university, but also make sure that they have all of the resources available to them as a student, like the tutoring center and just the library hours, and making sure that they're aware of everything that's offered to them. So, moving forward, so the safe disposal site for prescription drugs on campus, we're working with our own clinic and Shannon Medical Clinics across San Angelo, because according to the CDC, medicine take-back options are the best way to safely dispose of unused or expired prescription or non-prescription medicines. So just bringing in a safe disposal site onto our campus clinic, so whenever students are done with their prescription drugs or non-prescription drugs, they can dispose of them in a safe way. And then finally,
Non-prescription drugs?
yes.
What do you mean by that?
Tylenol and
Okay.
Advil, anything that's expired. Yes, sir. Not like heroin, but hopefully. So for finally, service and community. So we obviously, as senators, we serve our student body as much as possible, but we would also like to advocate for serving the entire city of San Angelo through safe community service. That may look a little bit different right now just because of COVID precautions and restrictions, but we do want to serve the city of San Angelo just because everything is kind of limited for student government right now and for all registered student organizations on campus because of COVID restrictions. So I think doing service would be a great way to connect in as much as possible and make use of our time. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your time this morning. I can answer any questions, comments, or concerns you have at this time.
Kristen, where are you from?
I'm from Abilene, Texas, sir.
Yes. How did you find your way to Angelo State?
I actually followed a boyfriend, but I am very glad that I did because I love Angelo State.
Is he still around?
No, he is not. But I am. So.
Hey, don't ask questions like that. That's a FERPA violation.
Kristen, it's pretty obvious he probably couldn't keep up with you with
No,
everything
he
you
could
got
not.
going on.
No.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're to be commended. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with
Sorry,
that-
I was distracted there for a moment. I want to thank you for your work on mental health. You and the other students, please stay in contact with the president and the powers that be there. to make sure that we do provide those services to students. They know where to go, who to talk to. It's got to be easy for them to find help. It's difficult for them to seek help to start with, and if it turns out to be difficult, they'll just give up. And so please continue your efforts, and thank you for being aware of the need.
Hunter Heck, please present the SGA report for Texas Tech University.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you to the chairman and to all of the regents this morning for the opportunity to present. My name is Hunter Heck, and I currently serve as the student body president at Texas Tech University main campus. This morning, I'll just be providing some updates on the initiatives either we've completed or have in progress. Starting with mental health, as just cited, the mental health of our students has been adversely impacted on an unprecedented scale because of COVID-19. We've seen increased rates of isolation and lack of community among our students, and this has been a need that's really been highlighted as we seek to address the situation. So as you may know, administration implemented several wellness days throughout the semester, which are just days that classes are canceled so that students can take the time to focus on their mental health and wellness. So Student Government Association, each week leading up to a wellness day, is hosting what we're calling wellness weeks. This week was the first, and today is our first wellness day, and I am so happy to be spending it with y'all this morning. We passed out approximately 500 wellness packages on Wednesday and Thursday, and then today we partnered with several businesses in the local community to provide student discount codes. There's Cafe J, there's Chick-fil-A, all sorts of places so that students can enjoy a discounted meal. Next, the Student Union Building has been working on an outdoor student gathering space. What this is it's right outside the sub. There's going to be lots of tables, eventually some fire pits. There's some games, and this place will exist to cultivate community among our students to gather safely, whether student orgs can gather here and host formal events, or students can take the time to enjoy a meal or do some studying together. We're really excited about this as the weather gets warmer. And then finally, we'll soon be launching the Beyond OK campaign, which is a campus-wide social media and communications campaign that seeks to humanize the mental health resources that exist on our campus. What we noticed is the resources are there, but our students just aren't familiar and don't know how to utilize them. So the heart of this campaign is help students understand that there's no problem either too small or too big, and that we are there to support them and to value them and to help them as they address this. Next, Big 12 on the Hill is an annual conference in which all the Student Government Association executive teams in the Big 12 conference meet together and participate in lobbying efforts. We actually had ours this Monday, and we met with several United States congressional offices to discuss the importance of affordability and mental health as well. We'll be hosting our Texas Day in early to mid-March, where we'll be meeting with various state representatives and Texas United States congressmen. Next, the Core Values Act. So this is a little complicated because the Student Government Association budget and finance process, I could spend 30 minutes explaining and still would probably not articulate it well. But essentially, the Core Values Fund is a fund on our campus in the Student Affairs Office that exists to support student organizations whose mission and values and events align with the values of Texas Tech University. So what we wanted to do was expand the opportunities for our student organizations funded by Student Government Association. And essentially what this does is allows students who have utilized the Core Values Fund in the past can apply it to future allocations year, so they can apply for more funding, and essentially for new student organizations and organizations that represent underrepresented student groups, they can expand their funding at an expedited pace. Next is facilities updates. So about a year ago, Student Government Association approached administration, citing that a lot of the menstrual product disposal units on campus weren't fully updated. In the past year, administration has been so quick, and I commend this greatly, especially Noelle Sloan working on this. It's been updated approximately 98%, which we're so excited about. And then also now we're working on providing menstrual product dispensers across campus. This is just a really important basic need for several of our students and helps to mitigate the problem of period poverty. Next is the Voices for Change curriculum. This is the first-year training, and this is the training that all first-year and transfer students receive when they first arrive at Texas Tech University. It includes mental health, sexual assault and bystander intervention training, alcohol abuse, and identity inclusion trainings. What we'd like to do is expand this training to all students, and the curriculum each year is going to have 75% new material, so it's not like you're just logging in every year, clicking through, getting the same information. We're really excited about this, and this kind of goes into that holistic mental health campaign as well. Next is our Safe Bar initiative. So what this is, we've developed the training for it, and we'll soon be working with local bars to train their staff on how to recognize signs of sexual assault so that they can intervene before an incident occurs. These bars that participate in the training will be labeled as safe bars by Student Government Association. We're working through the liability issues in case an incident still does occur. But we're also working with the bars to provide some free phone chargers. This might seem like a small issue, but in reality, this can be a big deal when someone is at a bar and is intoxicated or has had some things to drink and can't drive home. Rather than having to get a ride home from a stranger, they can plug their phones in, get some battery charged, and then call a friend to come pick them up so we know they'll get home safely. And then finally, we're working on restorative justice curriculum. What restorative justice curriculum is, it's a form of conflict resolution that focuses not on punishment, but on healing and restoration. This is a project I've been working on with the Dean of Students, and we'll hopefully be rolling this out soon after getting some faculty and maybe even some students trained in this. And before I close, I know that this will be the last Board of Regents meeting I will be presenting at. I just wanted to say that every single day I am more grateful for Texas Tech than I was the day before. Yeah, I know tomorrow I will be more grateful than I was today. And Texas Tech has been so transformative for me as a person and as a student. And I want to thank you all. I could get emotional. I cry every day because I'm graduating in May. I could get emotional just about how much I love Texas Tech and how much it truly has shaped me. And that's because of the people in this room and so many of your efforts. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you so much. You impact so many students' lives, and it truly embodies that from here it is possible. So thank y'all. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
You guys are very busy. I appreciate your work on mental health. Again, it's important that we have a free line of access to mental care. Students have to know it's there. I'm hearing maybe some rumors that you call for appointments now and it takes a while to get in. We need to clear that up and make sure that people have easy access. It's timely. They don't have to wait and change their mind. Once they reach out for help, they need to be helped immediately. Thank you for your effort.
Thank you. Any other questions? Awesome.
Hunter, you're to be commended for your excellence and your comments and your very gracious comments toward the faculty, the staff, and the Board of Regents for Texas Tech. We wish you the best on that next chapter, whatever that may be.
Law school.
Law school. Do we know where that law school?
Not yet, because I'm a procrastinator and waited till February to apply.
Okay, well, it'll work out well for you. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
With that, Marcus Gonzalez, would you present your report for health science?
Good morning, everyone. I know it's a little difficult to follow Hunter up after that presentation. But again, my name is Marcus Gonzalez. I'm a MD MBA student at the HSC, and I'm the current student body president. Again, just thank you for the opportunity to be here and just kind of brag a little bit on our SGA and the things that we're doing over at the HSC. So since we didn't get to meet in person in December, I'd like to give you some updates from the fall 2020 semester. We had 9 pieces of legislation that passed. Some of the meeting topics that we went over were COVID-19. I think that's a hard one to avoid nowadays. We also had a speaker come in from our new diversity and inclusion office at the HSC. We also reviewed barriers to care in Lubbock. I believe that as future healthcare professionals, both our senators and our constituents, the students at the HSC, it's really important that they understand that these barriers to care, not only in the Lubbock community, but their home communities exist. So we had Lubbock Impact come and Lubbock Compact, sorry, I get the two confused. Come give a presentation on New Lubbock versus Old Lubbock, the different healthcare facilities and resources that are available to different populations in Lubbock. And it was just a really eye-opening experience for a lot of our senators, so we're really excited that we had that opportunity. Also, community give back, we had a presenter come in and talk about our Helping Hands food pantry and the opportunity that this gives students suffering from food poverty to address that issue. We made sure that our senators are aware and that they distributed that information to their fellow classmates. We also have a newfound presence in HSE committees, and we're really thankful for the opportunity, Dr. Rice-Spearman. I know that the students really appreciate having that opportunity to voice their concerns. Like I said at our President's Advisory Board meeting, it means that I'm in meetings a lot more often than I thought I would be, but I'm thankful for the opportunity, and we love working with the President's Office on a lot of initiatives. We also implemented this new thing this year called Open Forum at the end of our SGA meetings, and this gives our senators an opportunity to ask questions, make comments, bring up any potential issues that we didn't get to in the agenda. And this has actually been a really good update to our meeting process, just because we've had some issues come up at the end of these meetings that weren't even on our radar. So we're really grateful that our senators take this opportunity to bring up issues that we just maybe missed. And then finally, we're wrapping up our SGA Phonathon scholarship process. I think our team met earlier this week to finalize those awards. And as we move on to the spring 2021 semester, we want to continue to advocate for our students. In terms of COVID-19, we're going to start working with administration to encourage student vaccination. I actually talked with Jessica Tom, my colleague from HSC El Paso, and I know that our dean of the medical school, Dr. Burke, has spoken with their president, Dr. Lange, and there's been some interest in collaborating not only with each other but with other healthcare institutions around the state to kind of put together a campaign to educate people about the vaccine and encourage vaccination. We've also focused on diversity and equity. We passed legislation requesting increased diversity in our standardized patient population. Again, if we're going to be dealing with patients from diverse backgrounds, I think there's no better way than to practice with our standardized patients that are from diverse backgrounds. And we got full support from the President's Office on this, and we're looking forward to see where that goes. When it comes to mental health, Regent Hammonds, I know this is something you're really passionate about. We're exploring the possibility of Headspace subscriptions for our students. Again, this is something that the President's Office is behind us on, and we're exploring a small trial with that. And also, we're going to provide suicide prevention training for our senators, again, to hopefully have these student leaders educate their classmates and their peers on the resources available at the HSC. And then, again, school's stressful for everyone, but we want to make sure that these future healthcare professionals don't have any sense of stigma when it comes to mental health. We want to make sure that they use the resources available to them and that they're comfortable doing so.
Thank you.
We want to increase our student involvement. This is going to take place through surveys, emails, and polls, and we're working with the President's Office on coming up with some sort of Founding Day celebration. Two of our senators worked really hard on this, and the President's Office has been behind it from the beginning. So we're really excited to have this on our schedule in the future. We also want to continue to find innovative and creative ways to serve our school and communities. Again, things are a little difficult right now due to COVID-19, but virtual opportunities have made themselves available, and we've been taking those. One thing that we really wanted to do this year was integrate our regional and distance students. The age of Zoom really made this a possibility, and it's something that we think is going to stay. So what we've done is propose 10 new Senate seats for our distance students. In the past, these students haven't had representation in the Senate, and we wanted to change that. So we're proposing that to the full Senate in the coming week. And then finally, we want to finalize these updates to the Constitution and bylaws. Again, we're reallocating seats to meet the latest enrollment numbers, and this is a process that hasn't taken place in a few years. So the HSC is totally different now, and we need the SGA to reflect that. And that's all I have for you guys today. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns?
On behalf of Ron Hammonds, I want to thank you for your work on that.
Appreciate it.
Marcus, let me ask you something for
Yes,
you
sir.
and Hunter. Are there ever any common synergies or opportunities where the two campuses gather together, the leadership of the two campuses, to talk about common goals or initiatives that collectively might put a little more purpose and power behind?
Yes, sir. I know that in the past that's definitely been the case. I think COVID-19 has made that a little more difficult. A lot of our student population isn't in town, makes it a little more difficult, and just the resources available during this time is a little different, are a little different. So in the future, we want to get back to that. That's definitely been the case in the past.
But Regent Griffin, so tomorrow, we are actually all meeting together to plan our annual Joint Congress. Joint Congress is an event where all of the system SGAs come together to pass joint legislation on behalf of the entire system and all of its students. So we will start talking about our agenda. We're hoping to do it in April. It's always done in the spring semester so that we can see some of the common ground that our SGAs have and things that we can make a bigger impact when we use our voice collectively as a system.
Good, thank you.
All right.
Any other
thank
further questions? What is next for you, Marcus?
Well, I still have 2 more years of medical school left, and then hopefully emergency medicine one day. So just hanging on.
Bravo. You're to be commended. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, reporting is Jessica Tom for TTUHSC El Paso. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And good morning, Texas Tech Regents. Okay, there we go. Okay, my name is Jessica Tom. I'm the SGA president for the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, El Paso. And it's very nice to be here face-to-face for the first time and probably the last time. But today I'm giving the February 2021 report for our student government, starting with a couple of things we did last year. In November, we celebrated Native American Heritage Month, and we did this through Instagram. We were able to feature 3 different tribes in the El Paso area, such as the Mescalero Apaches, as photographed there. And we used our platform to raise awareness about current public health and social issues affecting Native Americans, specifically Native American women. In December, we had a joint event. It was half holiday event, half donation drive. So we put together care packages and wellness resources for our students to celebrate the end of the semester, as well as give them a final boost right before final exams. And the other half was a donation drive. We held a donation drive for El Paso Animal Services as well as Salvation Army. We were able to donate 20 blankets directly for the homeless shelter run by the local Salvation Army, as well as 20 blankets for the outdoor shelters in the Animal Services unit, as well as 10 doggy bowls, 3 leashes, 2 harnesses, and a partridge and a pear tree. So it was very much our countdown to the holidays. Earlier this month, we had our spring welcome back event to welcome students back to campus. This year, something we wanted to do was to support local initiatives and local businesses, especially because COVID-19 has really affected a lot of local organizations very hard. So including wellness resources, we also put in vouchers for local coffee and smoothie shops to kind of boost their local economies as well, and give students an opportunity to, especially incoming students, an opportunity to explore local areas that they might not have explored before. Another thing that we're doing this year is to have every senator kind of take charge of their own professional development and leadership development and create their own senator initiatives that they complete by May 2021, so in a couple of months. So this is an initiative done by Victoria, one of our senators. It's called the Letters of EP Appreciation, or Letters of Appreciation. Basically just shout outs to different classmates, faculty, and staff that they want to recognize and who have made a difference in their lives. So we post these on Instagram every single week, and there's an example up there of one of the ones that we've posted. Another initiative done by one of our senators, Toby, is celebrating Black History Month, which was in February. There are 2 parts to this initiative, the first of which was a weekly virtual interview with faculty and healthcare professionals. Basically, we interviewed different faculty members and asked them how students can remain advocates for the Black community. The second part of Black History Month initiative was a Black History Bulletin Board of Inspiration, where students could submit inspirational quotes or inspirational phrases said or written by members of the Black community. In February, we had another donation drive, this time for the El Paso Center for Children. We got a little bit tech savvy with this one, and in addition to in-person donations in our donation bins at school, we also established an online registry through Walmart where the El Paso Center for Children put up all of the items that they would like and have requested, and people were able to sort of buy items for them online directly. Another initiative we started was the Leadership Book Club. So this was actually this past week. We had our first session, and it will be every 2 weeks until the end of the semester. 25 students are enrolled in our book club, and they're reading Emotional Intelligence for the Modern Leader by Christopher D. Connors. And this is moderated by 2 School of Medicine faculty. In the future, we're hopeful for more March, April, and May Senator projects. We're also hoping to have our big spring service event in a socially distant and safe manner. And to round out the year, we'll be having our awards ceremony where we give out Student Excellence Awards as well as Faculty Excellence Awards and our Student Excellence Scholarships, of which we've raised about $10,000 so far, so we're very excited to hand those out. And then, as I mentioned before, unfortunately, my term is coming to a close in April and May, but all good things must come to an end at one point. So in April and May, we'll be electing a new executive board. So hopefully at the May meeting, somebody else will be here giving that presentation for El Paso. Thank you so much for your time. If I can ever be of service to you, please feel free to reach out to me here at my email address, and I can now take any questions that you guys have.
What year are you?
I'm a third-year medical student.
Third year. How did you find your way to El Paso?
It's where I matched. So that's kind of how that process is.
Good. Well, we're very pleased for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Good. Any other questions?
No questions, but I just wanted to make the comment that this is the first time in the entire academic year that we have all 4 of our student body presidents here with us today, just speaking to
Good point.
the bizarreness of this past year.
Not on a video.
Right.
Yes.
But we are so thankful for the work that y'all are doing on each of your campuses and your institutions. I think you 4 are truly outstanding servant leaders for your students and your communities. You truly have your finger on the pulse of the issues that are facing our students. So just from the bottom of my heart, as a student, thank y'all for the work that y'all do. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Just as an FYI, there's some logistical travel issues with certain of the regions, so
You guys didn't scare them off.
there's not an exigent circumstance, so to speak. So anyway, all is well and all is fine. That essentially concludes our meeting. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for your service, especially over the last 12 months. I know that sounds a bit redundant, but things continue to change, from the weather to pandemic. So it's a working process, and you've adapted extremely well through that process and year, and will continue to do so. And that gives us, as a board, great confidence in the leadership of the school, that we can feel well about the activities and the teaching and the mission of Texas Tech University. So I want to congratulate and thank again each and every one of you for your selfless service. So thank you. With that, do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting of the Board of the Regents of Texas Tech University System stands adjourned.
Nice job, Mr. Chairman.